crystal. Fox later gets a translator that makes everyone speak his language, eliminating the need for a different language altogether, but I sort of liked that. It gave the planet an exotic, otherworldly sense, even if they did break into perfect English for certain words. It might have been more of a common occurrence if this game was Dinosaur Planet and not Star Fox Adventures, because tying this game to the Star Fox franchise is what ultimately hinders this for me. I feel if this game didn't have to worry about, how can we make this game appease to Star Fox fans, it could have reached its full potential. Instead, we have a 3D Zelda clone that doesn't particularly shine in any area besides graphics. This sort of game has been done better years prior. And then there's the actual Star Fox stuff, which anybody with any prior Star Fox experience can see just how shoehorned these R-Wing sections are. And there's only a handful of them. You guide your ship through these awfully short sequences, shooting the same type of enemy over and over again, and collecting enough gold rings to enter the next part of the planet. They're so insignificant that I was legitimately shocked the R-Wing gameplay was the host of the final boss. Not the gameplay you spend well over 90% of your adventure experiencing, the damn R-Wing, whose gameplay is somehow as shallow as the gummy ship sections in Kingdom Hearts 1. I can't recommend Star Fox Adventures as a Star Fox game. Clearly it's not, and wasn't meant to be. Whatever homage or gameplay sequence they have to honor the franchise pales in comparison to Star Fox 64 and even the SNES game. As for an adventure game, it's passable but repetitive as fuck, and the lack of a well-written story with engaging lore and proper development highlights how monotonous this 15-hour quest becomes just a few hours in. It's easy to understand and doesn't ask for much, mainly because there isn't much there. So if you're looking for a jumping point, I don't think there's any harm in giving Star Fox Adventures a shot. It's just, I think any 3D Zelda can give you the same and more, I find. You can get it pretty cheap online, assuming you're not buying it factory sealed. I usually see it go for around $50 at conventions, so eBay or Amazon might be the better pick for you. But let's not put away our GameCube controllers just yet. There's still another Star Fox title to look at for the lunchbox. Star Fox. Holy mother. That's my Metroid alarm! I installed it back in 2010 after that. Put it on screen! Alright, I guess it's out now, so spin-off or not, that's taking priority. Metroid guy, please understand. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick sidestep to look at Metroid Prime Federation Force next time. What? I already saw the game. What was... Oh, that's right! Okay, my apologies, Star Fox fans. I'm making two detours. I'm looking at Federation Force next time, and then afterwards, AM2R, or another Metroid 2 remake. I'm really going all over the place in space these last few videos, huh? Okay, but afterwards, I promise I'll continue with Star Fox Assault for the Nintendo GameCube. With all that said, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night. And take care.
Let me ask you something. Do you think your car insurance rate is fair? See, here's how insurance works.
Letting my friends do all the hard work while I sat comfortably in a turret, and being a general dick to one another. Just to be clear, it doesn't break any new ground. Odds are, you've played an immeasurable number of team-based shooters that does all the things Federation Force does, and then some. And if you're looking for something different, Federation Force isn't the answer you're seeking. This is merely the Metroid version of something like Left 4 Dead or Overwatch. In terms of the foundation, multiplayer was the way this game was meant to be enjoyed, and the lacking single-player experience is proof of that, because Federation Force is a bit of a chore to play solo. Not terrible, but not fantastic either. You shoot things until they're dead, maybe step on a switch here and there. I mean, you still got the times where things get a little different, and those are just as fun solo as they are with friends. But by yourself, I think Federation Force could have used more variety and mobility and accessibility, like wall jumping, some sort of morph ball feature, space jumping, and have level design built around that. Essentially, if the solo campaign were more like a traditional Metroid Prime game, I think both parties would have something to look forward to. As is, Federation Force is great with friends, unremarkable by yourself. But that probably doesn't even matter at this point. This game is forever tainted by its unfortunate timing. Had this game come out right before, right after a mainstream Metroid title was announced or released, I guarantee you nobody will be bitching about it. Alas, that's not the case, and this game will forever go down in history as the Metroid spin-off that nobody asked for, and nobody wants anything to do with it. That's, again, a shame, because I think it's the best spin-off. With friends, of course. By yourself, I think it just barely edges out on Metroid Prime Hunter's Adventure Mode, and that's probably only for the control scheme alone, and I don't think a comparison to Metroid Prime Pinball is even warranted. Well, I guess Blast Ball sort of comes close to that. This is such an afterthought to me. It's an extra mode you can play locally with friends or online with strangers. There's no online friend option, despite having the ability to play with friends online in the main campaign. It's soccer, only instead of kicking the ball, you blast it to hell and back. I don't know if it's because people really don't care about this minigame, but I couldn't find anybody online to play this with me for the video, so I was left scoring goals with the AI. And it's a distraction even after that, nothing more. You're not buying Federation Force for this, I can tell you that. There's a free demo for it on the eShop. Play that once, and you get a basic gist of it. So maybe casual and hardcore Metroid fans have something to look forward to for next week's video. And I've been following this game for a couple of years now, and just a few weeks ago, or close to a month at this point, it finally got released, much to Nintendo's dismay. It's a bit unorthodox for me to review fan projects, but with how much Metroid I've covered for this channel, I gotta look at AM2R, or another Metroid 2 remake. More details on that later. With all that said, thank you guys for watching, have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.
New this fall. What if you got... What? A friend...
AM2R, I believe, is for those that have played those games to death and want a little extra spice to their Metroid recipe. It's got that classic Metroid atmosphere where you, the bounty hunter, are all alone in the face of unknown danger, never knowing what to expect in the next room or when the next Metroid will attack. It's got that down pat so well, and it manages to still do that with an actual soundtrack, unlike the original Metroid 2, which was 70% beeps, boops, and crickets. The compositions remind me of Axiom Verge somewhat. It's more like a mixture of Fusion and Prime the more I listen to it. It's fantastic throughout. The inner Metroid fanboy in me is incredibly happy how well this turned out. And the game might have been given the red light by Nintendo, but I hope people continue to talk about this and demonstrate that, yeah, there's still benefit to making an honest-to-God Metroid title. If Nintendo miraculously someday did a 180, hired this guy for their company and put this game on the Virtual Console or eShop, I'd buy it 5 fucking times and then some and tell everybody to go buy it. This is one of the best Metroids I've experienced since Zero Mission in 2004. And I like to believe it's not because I'm starving for a new game that I'll just take what I can get. Fan project or not, this easily fits in my top 5 Metroid titles. But I'll need more time to see where it truly places. But if you're a Metroid connoisseur, for the love of God, play this already. You're missing out if you haven't placed this in your hard drive. As for the newbie, as I said before, start with Fusion or Zero Mission, because going into this, unfamiliar with how the franchise works, will spell bad things for you. Yes, that is a legitimate point I have against this remake. It's the biggest complaint I have against it. It's not very casual friendly. And I think it's important for a game to have a degree of accessibility to all skill levels, so that more people can enjoy it. But the Metroid fan in me still recognizes all that it manages to achieve and then some. It may not be for everyone, but damn it, it's everything to a Metroid fan. And so, the wait continues for Samus's next adventure. But you know what, I'm really glad games like AM2R exist to help alleviate the pain of waiting. And I hope videos like this, or any sort of coverage this game gets, just helps convince someone in Nintendo that the franchise is still a beloved part of the company's history. It pains me that this game didn't get any sort of 30th anniversary celebration, not even a real mention. Besides Federation Force, which is a solid game in its own right, but not what we were expecting nor really wanted. Once more, a quick Google search will help you find the game. Go seek it out, go play it, and if you enjoy it, spread the gospel, man, because shit like this deserves to be recognized. And while you're doing that, I'm heading back to the Star Fox Marathon. And my apologies for keeping you Star Fox fans waiting, folks. We only got a couple of games left to go in that series. We're heading back with Star Fox Assault for the GameCube, then we're looking at Star Fox Command for the DS, and then finally ending things with Star Fox Zero on the Nintendo Wii U. So here's hoping the marathon ends with a couple of high notes. With all that said, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care. Faster. It is, after all, a tank. They're not outstanding, they're not terrible, they're just there. However, I know it's because it controls so equally to one of my favorite games in the GameCube that I'm going a bit easy on it. Star Fox Assault would only be a 30-minute game if it just had the R-Wing stuff, but like it or not, Star Fox Assault is more than just R-Wing. Hey, at least to me, it's more engaging than being on the ground in Star Fox Adventures. Fox should use a gun, not a mystical spirit lance. And one of my favorite moments in Assault is traveling back to Saria, the dinosaur planet from Star Fox Adventures, and helping the locals with actual fucking space weapons. As one who experienced Star Fox Adventures, this was cathartic. I just wish the enemies were the Sharp Claws, or fuck General Scales, give him some proper fucking closure. Star Fox Assault is not what I consider a true return-to-form Star Fox game after they went and experimented with Star Fox Adventures. It's closer to an actual Star Fox game than that one was, but it's not pure Star Fox from beginning to end, even if I think the whole package is by no means bad. The Arwing missions consist of the same Star Fox gameplay we all know and love as Star Fox fans, further enhanced, I believe, by the amazing soundtrack. The Landmaster and on-foot missions are not the worst thing I've ever played. Could Star Fox Assault do without them? I think yes. But when it comes down to playing what they have to offer, I've played worse, and these are not what I consider a deal breaker. You're still shooting the fuck out of things with projectile-based weaponry, and if Star Fox 64 can have the Landmaster and Blue Marine moments and still be considered one of the best games on the Nintendo 64, then I think Star Fox Assault can have these sections, even though there's way more of it here. And hey, you know what? The multiplayer isn't too bad either. I know I didn't really dive into the multiplayer content of Star Fox 64, but there's only so much I can do about that when everyone else around me is busy doing their own thing. But I managed to drag Mark in here for some multiplayer hijinks, and it was damn good. The on-foot stuff is sort of one-sided when you have the right weapon. Stop me if you've heard that before. But it's pretty fun when you're trying to shoot each other down in R-Wings. This sort of gameplay benefits from the joy of competitive play, though this is no Call of Duty or Overwatch by any means. But if I thought this was fun, then it's a safe bet the Star Fox 64 multiplayer is just as engaging. I had a good enough time with the single-player stuff, and I think you will too if you're looking for a slightly different Star Fox fix. And if you got family and friends who want to take each other on with an 11-year-old GameCube title, hey, you just got another reason to buy the game, I think. But until Star Fox Zero on the Nintendo Wii U, Star Fox Assault will be the last console-based Star Fox game for quite some time. For the next time we head back to Star Fox, we're going to the Nintendo DS with Star Fox Command. Out of all of them, this is the one I know next to nothing about, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I have in store for this one. And after that, we'll wrap up the adventure with Star Fox Zero and finish our quest in the Lilat system. With all that said, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.
You are clear for warp, Enterprise. Never thought I'd see James T. Kirk anywhere.
Community, which then causes her to ditch Panther and Star Wolf altogether and become a lone bounty hunter, changing her name from Crystal to Cursed. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? And I say poor Crystal, poor Fox. I mean, his justification for kicking Crystal off the team is shit, but he gets his ass emotionally handed to him depending on the story. He doesn't take Crystal leaving him well. Look at him! This is the same calm and collected badass from Star Fox 64, Adventure, and Assault, and now he's been reduced to a mumbling crybaby, inviting Falco over to drink his sorrows away, and leaving Star Fox at one point to become a G0 racer. What is this game? It's lost, that's what it is. There's no clear-cut definitive plot. Instead, we have multiple unfocused storylines that sacrifice coherency for the sake of I don't fucking know what. Character interaction's still there, but the quality varies on the pathway. Every time Fox and Crystal communicate, no matter the story, it's the same romantic he said, she said bullshit, and everything else is a bit on the generic side. It feels like some personality was lost in the writing process here, where I don't see the Star Fox crew, or Star Wolf for that matter. I just see a bunch of interchangeable heroes that don't really match up to what's been established previously. There's a lot of different endings. A standard playthrough can take, let's say, 2 hours, could be more, could be less, but I only made it through about 5 endings because I couldn't take it anymore. Not so much for the bizarre, unrelated multiple stories, but because I got bored, honestly. Thankfully, Star Fox Command is not one of those games where you have to get all the endings to unlock the true finale. I'd lose my mind faster here than in Shadow the Hedgehog if that were the case. And I know 2 hours doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it feels like an eternity here. You're doing the same shit repeatedly, no matter what route you take. The characters change, but gameplay scenarios do not. There's not a whole lot of things going on here. Star Fox Command offers little in replayability. If you really want to see all the alternate endings, and I don't blame you if you want to, with how much cheese oozes out of this, you can find them easily on YouTube and whatnot, because having to do this kind of shit over and over and over again is not worth it, no matter how laughably bad this soap opera is. I'm glad to see it's all R-Wing gameplay and nothing but R-Wings are just one thing. What you do with them is an entirely different issue. At last, we're closing in at the end of the Star Fox Marathon. It took 10 years after Command, but a new Star Fox title finally saw the light of day, and it was released on the Wii U. And I'm pretty anxious about this one, because I personally haven't played it myself yet, there's that, but like a few other titles in the series, I was surrounded by people that did, and opinions were pretty mixed on this one. So, with that said, I'll see you guys for the finale of the Star Fox Marathon with Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. Thank you guys for watching, have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.